Hello ladies and gentlemen. Alright, this video is going to be covering just a brief overview of the Bushnell TRS-25 tactical red dot with riser, and also installation on a rifle. I've already unboxed it, kind of set everything out. Tools you're going to need a hex key, which it comes with a hex key. You're going to need a 13 millimeter wrench. It could be open or boxed in, or you could use a socket. I prefer a wrench. And of course, if you've got a means to mount your rifle, that's good too, but you don't necessarily have that. But you will have to have this 13 millimeter wrench or a large flathead, and that's to mount the riser. So you notice on the riser, it's got a portion, a cutaway right there for a slot, so you can use a flathead, but a 13 millimeter works perfect for this riser. Now, if you're not mounting to a AR, and if you're mounting just to a pistol, you can bypass the riser, just use the scope itself. But we're going to need that height for the AR if you're mounting to a shotgun. Now, I purchased this online. This is a Father's Day gift, and I think I paid, or I didn't pay, but the price was $89 plus tax, something like that. And that's coming with a riser. Comes in a nice box. You get a little cloth here, instructions, and warranty information, and all that cool stuff. So it's free shipping. So that was good. I think normally on Amazon they're running just the optic by itself for about $88. So for $1 more, I got the riser and free shipping. So I'm telling you, Walmart's got some great deals, and that's not the only place I buy from, but here recently, you know, they've had the best deals. So let's go ahead and get started. I've already got the instruction book opened up, and the first thing on our to-do list to get this operational is we need to remove the plastic insert from the battery, and that's for the illuminator in it. So what you'll do is you'll just simply turn the cap, just hold on to this section here, turn the cap counterclockwise. They're standard threads, so counterclockwise. Okay, just a little cloth here, and then this uses a button battery, and this is a CR2032. So if you already got one of these, need to know what kind of battery. The factory one that comes in, it's a 3 volt button battery, CR2032. So normally you can get those at, you know, just about anywhere that sells batteries, and they come in a 2-pack. And if I'm not mistaken, that may be the same battery I use for my Apple TV. I'm not sure. Excuse me. So to get this out, all you want to do is you just want to kind of push down on one corner. That will pop the edge of that button battery up, and then you'll just take a fingernail right here and then just grasp it and then just pop it right out. If you look right there, there's our little plastic insert. It's clear. It's probably hard to see, but that's what we need to remove right there. So now the battery, or the operation of it, will be functional. So let's kind of wipe our button battery off again, place it in there, and just kind of push down. You hear it snap. Goes right in those prongs there. You don't want to bend these prongs. And then reinstall our cap. So this cap's got a spring on it, so you will have to add a little pressure, get that started. There's an O-ring seal, so that's a plus. Kind of hold your turret there a little bit, or your selector knob. Tighten that down good and snug. Don't over tighten it, but that's meant to be waterproof, and I think Bushnell claims that this is waterproof to about 10 feet. So that's pretty good. It's pretty good for a sight, and I don't think I'm going to be submerging this in water, but you know, just knowing that it's waterproof is a plus. So next up on the agenda is installing it to the riser. Now, if you're looking at the sight right here, your colored portion here that's going to be the front. That's viewing out this way. So you're gonna view this way. So it needs to be mounted here. So it's going to be right hand selected right here on the rifle. So just keep that in mind. We'll keep this covered up on it for right now. Protect that front lens. And I like to have on my rifle, I like to have everything kind of on the right hand side. So for my nut there to tighten down, I want to keep it on the right hand side. So we're going to mount just like this. So just lay it over there, get it centered. Right in the center there. That's what we need. And then we'll just turn it over this way. And then that's our Allen head. I probably should have got my Allen head out first, or hex wrench is the technical term for it. So just hold this up, kind of give it a little turn there, kind of tighten it down and snug it at first. We don't want to get it too tight. Make sure we're centered. We are. We don't have really any play there. It's good and tight. Actually, I'm kind of impressed with the build of this. It is a little heavy, but it's going to have some weight, right? All right, so instructions on mounting this is to tighten it down till it's snug. All right, that's snug, and then give it 1/4 turn. So we're going to go in, give it 1/4 turn. It's our 1/4 turn, so that should be enough torque on there to keep that stabilized. Now I'm not putting any Loctite on this because I'm bad about removing stuff and adding to it and changing and switching out rifles. So this may stay on the rifle a little bit, or we may move it. So now that portion's done. So we're done with that. We're just kind of moving around some stuff here. Set the side up. Put a cleaning pad over there. We're actually done with the Allen key now. So we're going to put it back in its bag. Throw it over there. And we're going to mount up our rifle. And I'm going to adjust the camera here a little bit. Okay. I think that'll be able to get us in scene. Got our vise here. Kind of tighten it down. All right, number one, always check to make sure you don't have one in the chamber. So always do that. That's a must. So we'll check there. All right, we're clear. Okay. Lay that down. Got a block here. Tighten it down good and snug. I like these blocks. These are real handy. I mean, for $10, hard to beat. All right. Okay. Now there's a couple options when it comes to mounting this on the rifle. A lot of people tend to go back. You know, their feathers point on the upper. Hope you can see this good. And then you can move forward with it. I mean, you could even mount this side all the way at the end of the handguard if you wanted to. I mean, you can do that. I'm not, because I'm worried about this handguard being bent and getting tension on it and moving and getting out of alignment. Even if you had a monolithic handguard, there's still that possibility. But you can mount it on the very end if you want to, and it's the same principle as using your front sight on your pistol. You know, just using that front sight. But for my purposes, and I change a lot and I switch a lot of stuff up, I'm going to mount this forward of the upper receiver as forward as I can, because I'm planning on pulling out my Magpul flip-up sights here, and I'm going to mount those on the back and see if I can't co-witness with this sight. So I don't know if it's possible yet, but I'm going to give it a shot. So here we go. So we've got our top mount mounted. Just gonna slide this over. And now if you've never mounted one, this is I think it's called a 1913 rail. It's a Picatinny or Weaver. 1913 is probably the code for the military version, or whatever year it was made, but Picatinny is what most people call it. But you have these slots, and this bar is actually going to go through that slot right there, so that helps mounting it. and keep it stabilized, so that way you have a selector. And this one is actually numbered, so the numbering on a receiver tells you if you take a piece of equipment off, and you can write on the side like T8, and that's going to tell you that this portion set right down in T8 or T9. You know, this, it's not marked T9, but you know what comes after 8 is 9, and then 10. So that's the whole purpose of these T markings, and I believe that's what they're called, is T markings. So you can do that if you have several accessories, and that's, you know, the good thing about an AR is you can accessorize it, take them off, and put them back on. So it makes it really easy. So this one, I'm going to mount forward, probably right there. I'm going to leave a little space there. So if we pull this back and look, we're going to be on T11. So this center portion right here, this bar that goes across, it's all the pressure's pushing against with these clamps. And this part that's been milled out right here is going to go right here on T11. Right. And of course I'm going to leave my nut on that side. Okay. Now, a couple of things we can do here. And it depends on how you think, or you know what you think is going to happen. A lot of people, when they mount something to a Picatinny rail, they're going to determine, hey, I'm going to have a lot of recoil, so this rifle's going to be kicking back. And they'll tell you, and it's a matter of opinion, I believe. I'm not sure. I'm going to give you my opinion. But a lot of people, when they go to mount any kind of optic or any kind of accessory, they're going to push it back. They're going to push it back like that, or they're going to push it forward. I prefer forward versus pushing it back, only because the recoil is going to be pushing this way, and this front part here is going to catch that rod and keep it from moving. So in my way of thinking, my theory is it's going to keep it on zero longer. Now, if I was to drop this rifle on the buttstock, you know, the force, this is going to keep moving. You know, everything wants to move, so it would move back. But I don't plan on dropping this rifle, but it's a possibility. But I plan on turning this down a little tight to keep it there. So my way of thinking, I'm going to push forward on it and not pull back. So I'm going forward. Plus, it kind of gives me a little, it evens me up almost right here. And I know there's going to be a little gap there. So we're going to push forward. We're going to tighten by hand on this other side. See if I can get the camera angle moved a little bit. Let me do this. Let me turn the rifle around so you can see that. This is actually going on backwards, but to this mount, but that'll be okay. So I think you can see that. We don't have a whole lot of light in here. Let me get my flashlight out. So you can see this. So we want to go forward. So I'm pushing that forward there. And this is our lock nut. And that's good and snug right there. So now we're just going to take a 13mm wrench and we're going to tighten that down. Now we don't want a whole lot of force. If you had a stubby wrench, it'd probably be a little bit better, because you don't want to crank down too much on this, because we don't want to break anything. We got to remember, all this stuff is aluminum. We start cranking down on it, we could crack it and break it. So we're just going to get it a little snug. I don't have a torque wrench to put on this, but I'm going to say that's probably all we need. Could I tighten it more? Yeah, I have the ability to tighten it more. But you got to remember, the leverage you got on this long wrench, and you're pushing on it, it's going to feel like you're not actually tightening it up that much. So be careful with that. So as of now, this side is mounted. It's mounted up and ready to go. So that was quick and easy for the Bushnell TRS-25. Kind of excited. So that's their AR optics. Change your view there a little bit. AR optics TRS-25. So under $100 for a red dot. So not bad, not bad. Of course, once we get it to the range, sight it in, adjust that, I think we'll be okay. So, like I said before, we've still got room in the back here for a flip-up sight that may possibly be able to co-witness. So that would be great. And I think the life of the battery, I want to say the claim is 3,000 hours. I'm not sure exactly what setting that was on. It goes from 0 being off and then all the way to 11. And of course, when you're adjusting this, you can go from 0 to 1, or you can go to 0 to 11. You know, it's not directional, so it's multi-directional. You can go either way with it. So that's a plus there. I know when they first started coming out with illuminated and red dots and all that, you could only turn one way. So once you got to 11, you have to turn it all the way back to cut it off. So that's a plus. So fairly easy, you know, to mount up this this red dot. So now I just got to make time to get this puppy to the range and sight this in, and I'm gonna sight it in. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it at 50 yards or 100 yards. I'm probably gonna stick with 100 because I got to do another scope, and I'm gonna do it at 100. But like I've said in previous videos, this is kind of like my fun gun, you know, just to shoot around and plink. So it's 300 blackout, so I'll probably be shooting 178 grain Hornady. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it's Hornady AMAX, 178 grain. So once I get through those, I think I'm gonna standardize and just use 168 out of this. So anyway, that's the video. Give me some comments if you've got this same optic and you've used it and I missed something just on the general overview right here in mounting. You know, post it in the comments, and if you've got a video or want to do a video response on something on it, go ahead and put that in the comments too, so everyone else can see it. All right, you guys enjoy. Hope it was beneficial. Like, subscribe, and if you dare, share it. Thank you. Goodbye.